Hey y'all, I'm finally getting around to a planner topic I've been wanting to try out in one of my planners. So I hope I'm able to cover all the things I wanted to talk about when it comes to pre-planning in your medium passion planner. And if I don't, let me know in the comments, or if you have any suggestions or notations, just leave them in the comments and maybe might be another video, who knows. But yeah, this is a video I have been wanting to do for a minute now. Not just because of for YouTube, but for myself. I really have been wanting to try pre-planning as a way of testing things out. So I guess you're probably wondering what makes the passion planner better than other hourly planners. And it's nothing really. It's just a planner that I happen to be using while undergoing this experiment. So, and then plus, I don't really have any other hourly planners. I could have printed out some inserts from any plans or any other insert shops that are out there, but I decided to use what I already had in my collection, and that was my medium passion planner on discs. So, with all that being said, I have a feeling that this video could very well turn out to be a hot mess, but I'm slightly okay with it. But anyway, let's get this show on the road. In preparation for this experiment, I can't think of another name to call this. I was already using my monthly section within my medium passion planner for future plans, but it was the transition from my monthly spread to the weekly spread that presented itself as somewhat of a challenge. And I just want to say, if y'all hear like a loud humming in the background, that is my furnace. Like, the furnace is right by my desk, so when it's on, it's loud. So I apologize for that noise. I'll try to mute it as much as I can. But back to the video, sorry. I will initially admit that the medium passion planner ended up carrying too much space for what I wanted to use it for, even when I first bought it. So I did purchase like the 8.5 by 11, the big passion planner. And while I did love that size, it was so hard to transport. So when I moved into the medium passion planner, the size was perfect at the time, because it looked very much like a shrink size, and it seemed perfect at the time. Since I've been using the A5 daily passion planner for my writing journal, I honestly think that may be my favorite size out of all the passion planners. So if I ever were to purchase another passion planner, it would probably be in the A5 size. But since I have dipped and dabbled in the passion planner system for I think about a year and a half now, I don't know if another purchase will happen, simply because every passion planner I've gotten, I have not stuck with it past a few weeks. And usually when that happens, I kind of give up the ghost. There's no point in me carrying on in that manner when it is starting to become redundant and not productive at all. But I do like to use a passion planner to kind of do these experiments, and I'm using experiments in quotations because I don't know what else to call them. But anyway, I went off on a tangent, so let me get back to the topic at hand. Other than using the monthly section, I also use the daily section within my Hobonichi Cousins to sort of gauge what daily and weekly activities I needed to include in my pre-planning spread. So I'm mostly thinking of, like, if I have a blog post for a week, to post for that week, a YouTube video, any TikToks or Instagrams, any new releases, all of that. Those are like weekly reoccurring events. And so I know I want to include that in my pre-plan for the week ahead. And so I kind of use my Hobonichi Cousins to gauge how often or not often I participate in those planning events or in those projects. But again, of course, I'm not going to be 100% good at this, because I am a very good procrastinator. I'm trying to not participate in that type of behavior anymore, but it is hard to unlearn a behavior that I have done for years. And I'm also good for downplaying certain things. Like, I'll say, oh, a blog post isn't that big of a project. I can just slap it on a day, be done with it. No, it actually takes time, and that brings me to another point where I also decided to pull a little bit of my bullet journal spreads into my pre-planning by creating like a running to-do list. And what I mean by that is I will use the bottom portion of the passion planner spread, the sections they usually like have the lines, the grid look to it. I'll use that as like a running to-do list, and then I'll probably use the brain I most likely use the brain dump area on the next page if it overflows. So this kind of frees up the weekly section so that I'm able to focus on actual events and time sensitive situations or tasks or whatever, and kind of create like a content calendar presence amongst my pre-planning. But with this running to-do list, I am able to, like, let's say, okay, going back to the blogging, I am able to flesh out every part of what makes that a big project, which is graphics, writing the blog post, editing the blog post, doing the SEO, getting social media posts ready, all of that. I can break down that task within, or that project within other tasks, so that when I have to get to that part of the week, I'm not sitting there trying to wonder what exactly do I need to do, because I have a lot of brain farts. So I'm not exactly sure sometimes what goes into a project, but doing that helps me to visualize what I'm working with, what I'm working on, and how to go about that in a less stressful way. And since I am prone to stress and anxiety and depression, this is better for my mental health than anything else I have encountered in a minute. Until these big projects become muscle memory to the point where I don't have to break them down like this, I will continue to do running to-do lists like this. Currently in my bullet journal, I have an entire page dedicated to tasks for the week, and then on the other half I have my weekly section. So it's a week on one page, and then the second page is my task list. And this is wonderful because I can see how often I do one thing throughout the week, and that is magical in my opinion. Yeah, so this experiment, I want to say, was a success. I am saddened to say that this pre-planning spree or experiment only lasted, I want to say, maybe 2 weeks in my passion planner, until I, 1, stopped using it, 2, stopped using my Hobonichi Cousins, and 3, I went back to my went back to my bullet journal, where I was able to, like I said, create those type of spreads in my bullet journal and not have to have multiple planners, because that was always my gripe of, I don't want to call myself narrow-minded, but I have a short attention span. I cannot juggle multiple planners at any given time for productivity. So for the fact that I was using my Hobonichi Cousins for my monthly spreads, for my weekly spreads, and for my daily spreads, and then using the passion planner for my pre-planning spreads, that was already borderline too much. Because when I'm out and about, and then I was also using my digital Apple planner or calendar for pre-planned spreads as well, and it's like, that was very much too much. It was just too much, and I was juggling too much, and I was like, okay, when school starts, how am I going to be able to navigate all of these planners to where they all get the attention that they need? And sad as enough, I couldn't see a way of that happening. So I was like contemplating, okay, you're either going to be in the passion planner 100%, you're going to be in the Hobonichi Cousins 100%, or you're going to go to another planner that can provide all of this, all of what these two planners provide for you. And that was a bullet journal. So in my bullet journal, I have a monthly spread, I have a weekly section if necessary, I have a daily section if necessary, and I have somewhat of a pre-planning area. So everything I was using these two planners for, I am now using in one. And I know this is supposed to be how to pre-plan your medium passion planner video, but I do also want to say that everything I learned throughout this experiment, again using quotations, has helped me bullet journal better, if that makes sense. And as a person who is all about that functionality, all about that productivity, and just making my life easier, in order for me to get to that bullet journaling stage where I'm not the bullet journaler I was of old, but this new, improved, more mature bullet journaler. And I keep saying bullet journaler, and my tongue keeps getting tongue tied. But anyway, I had to do all these steps. And so I hope that my way of doing things inspires you to kind of create your own little system, or, make these planners work for you. Like if you get an EC and it's hourly and you don't know what the heck to do with it, play around with some stuff. Go on YouTube, go on Pinterest, go on Instagram, search, hourly planners or hourly planner spreads, and just peruse things. Just see what other people are out there doing and then modify it to what you need. Because first you got to know what you need it for. I needed pre-planning to be able to have a handle on the projects that I had coming up, the projects that I do on a weekly basis, and trying to stay up on my content calendar schedule, and to be more productive and not give into depression because I was feeling overwhelmed. So if me knowing that that's what I needed the pre-plan for, I was able to then create a system to where now I'm 2 months into my bullet journal again, and I feel more in control of my day-to-day life than I was before. Like I'm even entertaining thoughts of, okay, going back to my classic happy planner for memory spreads only, and being more experimental with utilizing that planner, not for anything productive, but more of a hobby type style. And I'm able to now plan in my bullet journal with functional and decorative elements, which is freeing. I cannot tell you how much that is freeing to me. So I don't want to be too preachy. I don't want to shove this inspirational speech down your throat. But honestly, pre-planning in your medium passion planner, pre-planning in any planner that is hourly, or not just hourly, but just pre-planning any planner in general, is definitely doable if you go in it with a set of expectations and you make that planner work for that. Make it work for you and not you working for it. You don't have, like, the passion planner has its layouts, but as you can see, I'm using washi, I'm using highlighters, I'm not even paying attention to the hourly areas, and I'm just using it for what I need because it has somewhat of a structure I can work within. Now, if you have, if you're a stickler for sections that just don't mesh with you, that's a challenge. And I will be talking about that in another video, about making sure like what type of planners are best for you. But yeah, I'm making this planner spread work for me. I honestly am. And the only reason I'm not using it anymore is because I didn't need to anymore. Honestly, I felt I had more control in creating my own spreads in my bullet journal than modifying the passion planner spreads to what I needed it for. Like, I may get a bug in my butt to do this every now and then, but not on a regular basis. So that's why I'm like kind of entertaining thoughts of going back to classic happy planner. Because if I decide I want to modify a spread or play around in a spread, I have that freedom to do that. And it's not, how do I want to say, it is not detrimental to my being able to stay on top of my everyday plans. So I think I kind of went off on a tangent on that, but I also felt like I needed to say that. So I don't know. It is somewhat, easy to pre-plan in your medium passion planner because, like I said, you have the hours if you choose to use hours. Because I know some people who work in jobs that they have meetings, or they have conferences, or they just have things that they want to add to an hour, like a duration type situation. And the hourly sections on the weekly spread will very much help somebody with that. Because let's say, for example, I have an obligation after 6 p.m. So I'm going to know, okay, I wake up at 7:30 every morning. or 6:30, 7:30, depending on what time, if I snooze my alarm. Like my alarm goes off at 6:30, so I may snooze it and then not hear the second time it rings at 7:30. I may just hear it at 8:30. So it's between 6:30 and 8:30 that I'll wake up. So I know from 6:30 to maybe 9, I am not prepared to do any type of functional anything, like no productivity, nothing work related. But after that, I can then schedule, okay, you need to have a video posted this day, or you need to have this social media post out, or you need to have this newsletter written and out. You know, I have to schedule all that before 6. So having an hourly planner or using this passion planner, I can use this spread to do all of that as a pre-plan. And that's kind of like what's, I guess, the beauty of the passion planner is that it has so many ways in which somebody can use it. Either if you're using it for your everyday plan as you go, or you're using it for a pre-plan. It is completely doable, as you're seeing in this video. I am currently like working through the running to-do list. Every event that I place on my daily section within this week, I'm then notating it in the to-do section, and I am putting divots below that big task to break it down, so that if I have time in any of the days before that event happens, I can probably take something off of that mini to-do list under the to-do list, if that makes sense. I hope I have helped. I hope honestly that even through my tangents, even through my runoffs, I hope I have helped. I hope I've inspired you, because I would not be as experimental in any of the planners that I talk about on this channel if there wasn't videos out there that contributed to this type of content. This is years in the making. Like when I started planning, it was back in 2015. So we're now in 2021. Well, hold up, we're now in 2022. So this has been years in the making. And again, this is not written in stone. Probably next month I might have a different view. But as of right now, or in this season, that's pretty much what I had on my mind to say. And pre-planning in your medium passion plan, like I said, is doable. Doing it in any planner is doable, but I just said passion planner because that's the planner that I'm using right now. If ever given the chance, if ever I were to leave bullet journaling, I would probably go with the A5 daily passion planner, simply because of the amount of free space that I could probably utilize and craft into a way that is not as rigid as the one page. I think y'all know what I'm talking about. If you've ever seen the daily passion planners, you have the one page where it has the hourly and it has other divots, and then you have the right side of the page that's completely blank with like a dot grid view. And I think that will be more freeing than what academic or weekly passion planners provide. So I'm not saying I'm gonna get another one, but I'm not gonna say I'm not, because never say never. Right now I'm content with my little Michael's brand journal that I use for my bullet journaling. And I'm hoping very soon to have like my bullet journal set up for February or March. But thank y'all so much for watching. Again, I hope I have inspired you. I hope I have given you food for thought. And I hope you just enjoyed the ambiance of the video playing in the background as we chit-chatted. And so I'll talk to y'all in another video. Have a great day, y'all. Bye.